Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And today I want to ask a pretty interesting question. Have the legendary battles replaced the special missions? Now, this question comes to us from a Twitch viewer by the name of Hunter, so shout out and thank you to them for posing this idea to me and getting me thinking on this. But it's actually a really interesting concept, and sometimes I do, you guys know on this channel, speculation videos. Sometimes we do complaint videos where we talk about game modes that we want to change and get better because they're crappy or they're bad or something's wrong with them. But now I have another one. This is part history lesson, part general question, and it also speaks to the development in the future of game modes and what we can expect possibly from new characters. And this all ties into how we get characters in Marvel Future Fight through farming, through bio selectors, through tickets, through bio subscriptions and paying real money, paywall. And it also talks about actual game play that we have, game modes, because the special missions for newer players are just somewhere that you go to get particular bios, to use up your hidden tickets, to get Dormammu from the quest pack, and then ultimately hoping to get a CTP of Transcendence, and then sometimes with boost points a CTP of Patience. But there's so much more to it than that, and it actually also ties into not only the legendary battle, but also the dimension rifts. So it's a pretty sticky triangle, and it's kind of a web of different things that I want to discuss. So let's rewind back a little bit now and take a look at what special missions were in the beginning. In the beginning, special missions were a different type of story mission because you had a limited number that you could run and you had a limited time. It was actually, in the very first iteration, it was 30 minutes to run as many times as you could. It was pretty fun actually, but it was also kind of irritating for slower and lower end devices. But we didn't have Spidey's Rogues Gallery, of course, we didn't have Inhumans, we didn't have New Avengers. We had Ant-Man's special missions, and we had Ronin and Guardians of the Galaxy special missions. Now, you might be scratching your head. Cynicalex, there were special missions for Ant-Man? Yeah, and Yondu, and Groot, and Ronin, and Drax, and Nebula, and Giant Man, and all these characters. Not Angel, and actually we had MODOK, so just not Loki or Angel. Those were the original special missions, and those characters got shifted over when the special missions changed and their format changed to a set number of runs, 20 per day. They got shifted over into Dimension Rift characters. So the question at its purest is actually quite interesting, because it's possible that with more legendary battles, but also hopefully with the introduction of new special missions, we could see some of these special missions, New Avengers hopefully first, shifted over into the Dimension Rifts, and that would make the Dimension Rifts more plentiful, because to be honest, these 12 characters are not that unique, and it would be nice to see more characters available in Dimension Rifts. It would be nice to see more diversity in Dimension Rift characters that we could get to farm for, and it would open up the opportunity for more special missions. Currently, I think the reason why special missions deserve a little bit of attention, and this is kind of where I nitpick a little bit, is because the New Avengers special missions cannot open up hidden routes. You can't use hidden tickets on them. So if you notice, just by looking at the images, they're just plain, but the hidden route orange text is only available for Inhumans and Spidey's Rogues Gallery. That's really important for new players, because it basically means that they have to skip farming all of these characters, including Gwenpool as a bio shifter, until much further on in the game, because otherwise they're missing out on a lot of XP, they're missing out on extra gold, they're missing out on extra drops, and of course they're missing out on the quest packs. Now the War of Kings quest pack I think gives you a tier 2 ticket, which is not very impressive. But let's be real, the Spidey's Rogues Gallery gives you a mega mythic uniform upgrade ticket when you complete it, and that's a big deal. And then yeah, Ruler of the Dark Dimension, you get to unlock Dormammu. Now Dormammu is obviously not one of the best native tier 2s anymore, so I'm not making an argument for him to be your first investment, but let's say you just started playing Marvel Future Fight, and guess what? Dormammu is your favorite character. You're going to want to get him first, because screw the meta. So you're going to have to play those missions, and what if Gwenpool or Squirrel Girl is your second favorite character? You're now torn between a rock and a hard place. So that's kind of a disappointing thing. If Netmarble isn't going to add hidden routes to the New Avengers missions, it would be really cool if they got rid of them. Like I said, move them over to the Dimension Rifts and then put in some new special missions. And I think we're due, because the last time we got special missions was about a year ago, almost, in August, when Spider-Man Homecoming came out and we got the Rogues Gallery missions. Now, it is a bit difficult because usually updates that have multiple characters are needed for a special mission, because special missions missions come in flavors of 5, so you need at least 5, usually 6 characters, because 1 is a shifter. And I don't think Netmarble wants to kind of ruin or confuse the formula and change it around too much. And I think that's part of the reason why we haven't seen new special missions. Netmarble has drastically reduced the number of free-to-play or farmable characters in each update. Now, whether that's good or bad, you can sound off in the comments below. I know people are going to get riled up at that statement, but just analyzing things with characters like X-23, with characters like Adam Warlock, Emma Frost, all of those things point to fewer farmable characters per update. You know, we only had America Chavez in one update. We only had Shuri in another update because Killmonger was paywall. And so with those changes to the way that they're delivering the content to us and how much of it is free and how much of it is paid, it's made it more difficult to make special mission content. And I think that's originally what spurred the introduction of Legendary Battle. Now, personally, I love Legendary Battle. I think it's a great game mode, and I think it still has room to grow and room to improve, and it can be really, really fun. And I think it's one of the game modes that makes this game even more unique than any other game of this kind, because there's definitely a lot of ARPGs out there. There's all those Dungeon Hunter games, and there's tons of different kind of copycats that have a skill wheel, you know, skills in the corner, joystick, and do the same sort of thing. But this is where it really shows us how much better it can be, because you feel like you're in the movie, and that's something that no other game can replicate because they don't have the MCU movies to rely on. So I don't want, and I'm not suggesting that Netmarble skip, let's say, Ant-Man and the Wasp Legendary Battles in order to give us new special missions. I would love Ant-Man and the Wasp Legendary Battles. I want to throw a giant Hello Kitty Pez dispenser at the boss, or have them throw one at me, whatever. But it is pretty interesting, and it is something that we're going to have to continue to look at and see how Netmarble handles regarding new movie content being exclusively tied to Legendary Battle, which does tend to have better rewards as well than the special missions if you think about it that way, but doesn't offer us any farmability because there's very few bios. You do get bios from these missions, but they're gotten from the boxes themselves, and that's kind of an interesting way of thinking about it, because it could be the next way we get characters. There could be a new character from a new Legendary Battle, and I don't want to give Netmarble ideas, but maybe I do, that you can only get their bios randomly, unfortunately, from the Legendary Battle box. Now, obviously, this is not a very good idea. People would be pretty upset about this. I don't recommend Netmarble do that. They could do that in addition to offering the characters in another way, through a bio selector, through a bio subscription, through some sort of event battle, Luna Snow. But that is a possibility, but it does it does bring up the question of what do we do with the special missions? Are these just going to stay here forever and never change? Well, that's kind of all I was able to kind of put together in my mind, and the connection to Dimension Rifts and how the shift in terms of the number of farmable characters per update has really put a hold on the possibility of an update containing special missions. And looking to the foreseeable future, I don't really see an update, unless they pull one out of the comics, that could be special mission friendly. Of course, the Fantastic Four comes to mind because you could easily pull 5 or 6 or more characters out of that, but those kinds of epic characters like the Fantastic Four, like Deadpool, are better suited for an epic quest. So in a way, you have the epic quest being the kind of holy grail of cool characters and their introduction. You have the Legendary Battle, which is tied to the MCU, and it kind of leaves us in an awkward place for special missions, because a lot of the characters are either too cool to be special mission, which means they should be an epic quest, or they are not enough characters, in which case, or they're already in the game and they're just uniforms, meaning they're going to go to Legendary Battle. Ant-Man and the Wasp, perfect example. We know we're going to get probably the Janet uniform for Wasp. We're probably going to get a new Ant-Man uniform, and we might get 1 or 2 new characters. That'll go somewhere else in the game, and it'll leave us with yet another update without a special mission. So let me know what you guys think of this kind of puzzling, interesting, thought-provoking question, and the history behind special missions and Dimension Rifts and their kind of connection in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say, and also whether you like Legendary Battle or not, and how much you hate my idea. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss any of my content, and of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care. Snoopy, bow bow bow. Why don't